Did you know that the numbers we see on Jin Hwa-young's ankle could have another meaning and not the death of her mother? This is an interesting theory that might surprise you, but today we will not be talking about this possible explanation to the numbers on Jin Hwa-young's ankle, but we will be talking about a more shocking theory that you probably imagined. These are incredible details that we could talk about for a long time thanks to the fact that this series is already getting the ideas and ingenuity of many people working so we can understand a little bit of this incredible story. We have already said that this story is about three sisters who are going through a very difficult economic situation, and that their poverty leads them to go through many situations before society. One of them is a journalist, Oh In-kyung. All the life situations and circumstances around her lead her to take refuge in alcohol, and this interferes with her work as a journalist. This is happening as she slowly uncovers an elaborate evil empire by one of the most important political figures in South Korea. The other sister is a financial company worker, Oh In-ju, who is also going through some difficult situations as she receives rejection from people thanks to her economic status. Only a friend could give her support and friendship, but unfortunately that friend was found dead in her apartment, but not before leaving her a lot of money and a series of clues and mysteries that will gradually be solved in the drama. That leaves the youngest of the three sisters, Oh In-hee. She is a young girl who is in school and has an incredible talent for the arts and especially for painting. Her dream is to be able to travel abroad to study, and she promises to get out of poverty, even if she has to do whatever she has to do no matter the consequences. As the series progresses in its chapters, it gives us clues and helps us to understand the why of everything. But there are unresolved details and questions that so far have no answers. That's why today I want to talk about. The bad is Won Sang-ae, and she planned everything. But first I want to tell you. If you are a fanatic of Korean series and you like everything related to K-drama, this is the channel you should have among your favorites. Turn on the notification bell to be among the first to see our content every day. One of the theories that we could talk about in particular is that probably the person who controls everything and the one who is manipulating everything is Won Sang-ae, and it is not her husband. This theory is extremely interesting, and we are going to go step by step in order to understand it. Let's remember that Won Sang-ae was the daughter of an extremely powerful general in Korea, and thanks to that, the family has a lot of power and money. Her current husband was simply the son of the family's chauffeur, so he came from poverty just like the three sisters who lead the story. When Won Sang-ae's father died, it is believed that the inheritance along with all the properties and businesses passed to her brother Won Sang-woo. That is very important because we must learn that in many Asian cultures women do not receive the inheritance no matter their age or status. Men are the ones who are responsible for the assets left by the parents. So she had to make a perfect plan so that she could be managing the power, but without them realizing what she wanted to do. That is why we can assume that Won Sang-ae worked out a plan for years to get to where she is today. The main plan was to keep the fortune and power that her father had originally left behind. As time went by, she realized that she could go even further. And so she devised a plan for her husband Park Jae-sang to become a respected politician and thus reach the highest levels, to eventually dominate an entire country. This plan consists of creating a situation for her heir brother so that he would lose power and thus take over the entire empire, left by her father. Let's remember that Won Sang-ae's brother, who was the one who managed everything, is now locked up in a psychiatric hospital. So his sister came up with the perfect plan to take over everything. Recall that Sang-ae's father was the one who brought the blue orchid that always appears in this series. So she followed her father's tradition, and together with her husband they have a tree full of these flowers that, although they are illegal in Korea, because of their dangerous nature, they continue to keep them. In one of the chapters we see how she shows In-hee, the tree full of these orchids, and tells her that this was a secret that could not be revealed. So many think that Sang-ae may actually be the cause of the deaths that have occurred when the famous blue orchid appears. It is believed that this family is involved in one way or another in this mafia that controls everything and is behind these deaths. But one of the things that could give life to this theory is the very introduction of the series. Just before starting any chapter, if we look at what comes out in this introduction, we can realize many details that maybe you never realized. In these drawings that appear at the beginning, we can see the hands of a woman with her nails painted in a dark green color. In the images, we can see how that hand, which obviously represents a woman, is the one that controls everything, and even manipulates everything around her. We can see how it is a protective hand of a house, which seems to be her own house. But the most amazing thing is that the only person with green color noticeably in the series is one Sang-ae. And we can see it here in the official cover of the series as we see her with a deep green color. So many people think that she is the woman behind everything, and she runs this whole secret mafia that murders people, and they have a lot of power. The husband would simply be one more person in the story, but really wouldn't have much importance since the real evil one is her. So we can see throughout the series that probably the one behind everything and the one secretly running her father's criminal organization is one Sang-ae. Maybe even when she comes to power, she could push her husband aside and she will be left with absolute power. Undoubtedly, this series will be giving a lot to talk about because of its story and mysteries to be solved. For example, what really happened to Ji-hyun? Why did she have plastic surgery before she died? Also questions like, what is the true story of the sister's father? What really happened to the sister who supposedly died? So don't miss the videos we have prepared for all the fans of this series and all the theories that could come out in this mysterious and interesting story. Tell me what you think. Do you think the real evil one is one Sang-ae, or do you think that actually the one who runs everything is her husband? Write your opinion in the comments so we can read it. If you liked this video, share it with your friends and like it.